All right, our next bout here tonight, it's a catchweight bout at 150. It's presented by Your Choice Labs, LLC. It is Nick Overblood Martino at 3-4 taking on Dalton Smith making his MMA debut. 3 3-minute rounds. North Carolina versus Georgia in our next bout here in Chattanooga.
Well, of course, we know Nick Martino extremely well. This is a guy that we saw last time in kickboxing.
All right, let's go to the cage for our fighter introductions. Here is Cody Gwynn.
Ladies and gentlemen, your next bout will be at a catchweight of 160 pounds, brought to you by Your Choice Labs. At this time, please welcome to the cage, fighting out of the Hogs red corner, Nick Martino.
Casey, you've certainly seen Nick Martino. We have seen in Valor Fights Nick Martino an awful lot. He came in as a replacement in this fight to take on Dalton Smith. Your thoughts on Nick Martino?
Well, the first time I saw Nick Martino compete was when he defeated Eli John Kandu in Knoxville. That really surprised me because Kandu is such a great talent. He would go on to drop a loss to Damir Fahabagavich, but what a tough bout that was. We were both there for it. Yep. And then, of course, we saw him a few weeks back, in a kickboxing exhibition, and he looked spectacular with a big win there. He's taking it back to mixed martial arts, and he's fighting a guy who's a debut, which is, again, I said this before tonight, it's a crapshoot. You don't know when you've got this debut. You could have a phenom on your hands, or you could walk right through the guy, And that's the kind of competitor Nick Martino is.
Nick Martino fights out of the Combat Athletics camp in Mocksville, North Carolina, 6 feet tall. 3-4 record, and he replaced a teammate. So Combat Athletics was set up here in this bout, but Nick Martino came in and replaced his teammate. Only 3 days notice for Nick Martino, and started as karate at the age of 13. He's a former Valor lightweight champion, 4th degree black belt in karate, 2nd degree black belt in taekwondo, a blue belt in BJJ, and all kinds of experience, as you mentioned as well, Casey.
Yeah, absolutely. And, just a tough-hearted guy. When he steps in there, he's all business, loves to throw down, he loves to fight, and he's got a very karate style. We talked about taekwondo and karate before. There's a big difference between real karate and McDojo.
Martino is in the cage. Back to Cody Gwynn.
Now please welcome his opponent, fighting out of the OEB blue corner, Dalton Smith.
All right, Dalton Smith making his debut out of the Agoge Combatives camp in Lafayette, Georgia. The 20-year-old was scheduled to fight Josh Heath, but Heath out of that same camp could not compete, and Nick Martino, his teammate, stepped in, and he's confident wherever the fight is. Started wrestling as a young kid as well. As we take a look, Casey, at the tail of the tape, you see Martino with the experience advantage going into his 8th bout, as Smith going into his 1st. Smith 6 years younger than Nick Martino. Nick Martino 2 inches taller, and they weighed in virtually the same.
It's a lot of nerve by Dalton Smith to step up and face Nick Martino. I know that the record seems to be sort of upside down, but when you know the skill set of Nick Martino and how dangerous he is, he's got that karate style, but he's very kickboxing oriented. He throws high-flying kicks, and he's very dangerous. And to step up for your first bout and that be your opponent, takes some guts.
Dalton Smith won 1st place in a grappling tournament 5 months after starting, and started jiu-jitsu after high school. Back to Nick Martino, you mentioned the loss to Fahabagavich. We saw Valor Fights 24. Prior to that, a loss to Chris Teague. You mentioned the Eli John Kandu win he had at Valor Fights 19 and 20. Had a loss to Caleb Trumbull earlier in his career, beat Richie Ledesma and Brian Molina. Lost his amateur MMA debut to Colin Haynes. That was back in 2011, so Martino has certainly been around.
Right, absolutely. And like I said, the first time I saw him was when he faced off against Eli John Kandu, who is a tremendous talent. And, he looked very, very dominant in that bout. And, and that really, he caught my eye that night.
And that loss to Frhabogavich was a submission rear naked choke in the first round. 1 second left in the that round.
And you're not seeing him absolutely get pummeled by very often. You're going to see him, if you drop him, you're going to have to get on him and work him on the ground, and that's typically where you've seen him falter.
All right, 2 fighters are in the cage. Back to Cody Gwynn.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout will be at a catchweight of 160 pounds, brought to you by Your Choice Labs. When the action begins, your referee in charge of this bout is Josh Ward. Introducing first, fighting out of the Hogs red corner. Tonight he brings to the cage a record of 3 wins with 4 defeats. He weighed in 160 pounds. Fighting out of Combat Athletics in Mocksville, North Carolina, the former Valor lightweight champion, Nick Overblood Martino. Standing across the cage tonight, fighting out of the OEB blue corner. Tonight he makes his MMA debut. He weighed in 160 pounds. Fighting out of OGG Combatives in Lafayette, Georgia, Dalton Smith.
Josh Ward, our referee in this 8th bout, presented by Your Choice Labs, LLC. Catchweight at 160. Nick Overblood Martino in the black shorts. Dalton Smith in the gray, white, and black shorts. And we are underway. Round 1, 3-minute rounds.
Here we go. Fisticuffs right out of the gate here. You can tell that Dalton Smith is well put together here. Athletic kid, but man, what a tall order to step up to Nick Martino in your first mixed martial arts bout.
Yeah, you're right about the athleticism. I think he took a finger to the eye.
Yeah.
And Josh Ward will reset them, and we're back underway in round 1.
And you see those hands low there by Nick Martino. That's a karate background. He's trained some with Ray Thompson, Upstate Karate. Of course, father and coach to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson from in the UFC, current UFC roster. And here we go. Dalton Smith looking for the takedown yet again. It's not going to come easy here.
Martino, former Valor lightweight champion. 3-4 in his amateur MMA career.
Oh, here we go. And finally finishes with that outside trip. Beautiful work here. And now he goes on the onslaught here. You can tell this kid has some wrestling.
Snuck a couple shots in.
But he needs to watch here, man, because he's going to get tied up and submitted if he doesn't know the ground game right here out of the gate. Here comes the armbar. Here comes the armbar. It's a done deal.
Wow.
It's a done deal. Dalton Smith, he stepped up to the competition. But again, man, he got a trial by fire tonight.
You saw that early, Casey.
Well, this is a typical wrestler with tremendous talent and tremendous potential, stepping in there and not realizing that jiu-jitsu is a factor here.
Take a look at the replay here, Casey. Take us through the finish.
Well, right out of the gate, you have him really overextending. Dalton Smith really overextending, grabbing over the head. Nick Martino, he turns the corner. He gets a hold of that armbar, and he yanks for all it's worth, and he gets, finish number 4, win number 4 on his record, and Dalton Smith goes back to the drawing board, 0-1. I'll tell you what, he's going to be a tough 0-1 to whoever steps up next. Kid's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, and the athleticism, you're right about that.
Get on the mats and start rolling. Do some jiu-jitsu, man. Wrestling's great, but it's only a start. Jiu-jitsu's the finishing school for mixed martial arts grappling.
Nick Martino, the former Valor lightweight champion, evens his record at 4-4. Our official decision announcement here is Cody Gwynn.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Josh Ward has called a stop to this fight. 1 minute and 9 seconds into the first round. Your winner by submission via an armbar, Nick Overblood Martino.